with an armed homeless woman who was living in her car, highlighting a growing problem here in South Florida, the lack of affordable housing.
So we wanted to find out just how widespread this problem is. Local 10's Glenna Milberg is live to show us. Glenna.
Louis, Nicole, you know, we hear the word homeless and we think about people like this woman who was living in her car on the street, or people who actually live on the streets. But this new report that the United Way released shows a much more serious problem, widespread. It shows that half the people that live in South Florida, our neighbors, half of the people who live here just cannot afford it.
Only because of the all-day standoff did familiar financial issues become clear. Miami police found her Tuesday, a handgun on the console and a tag registered at Camilla's house, where she apparently went for services, maybe registered to get mail.
The reason why we provide mail services is precisely so that people have a place to be able to receive documentation as they're making their way through a process.
She was living in her car in the middle of a neighborhood, a city, and a region where homelessness for too many is one paycheck away, but in the middle of unimaginable wealth.
That can be even more of a downer for people, you know what I mean, that can't make it, and they've tried so hard.
This United Way report puts staggering numbers to a study of financial hardship. Almost half the people living in South Florida, even with jobs and careers, do not make enough to afford to live here. In Broward, Miami-Dade, and Monroe counties, the darker the purple, the worse the numbers.
So many places in South Florida you can stand in one spot and see people who struggle to pay their rent, and just turn in the exact same spot and see multi-million-dollar condos.
It's supply, simply put.
He builds affordable housing. We met by chance near his office, right in the sightlines of where the woman was living in her car. He says the attention to the unaffordable living crisis is there.
I think they have the right initiatives. I think they have the right ideas. That's just a function of being able to provide more supply and create more opportunity for the workforce community to be able to rent.
There is hardly anyone who would argue that affordable housing and income inequality are defining issues of South Florida at this moment. I'm Glenna Milberg, live in Miami tonight, Local 10 News.